All right, well, it's always tough, right, when you have to say goodbye to a good one. And he signed that deal right before they won the World Series. 8 years, $184 million. World champion, and some say that without him, maybe they don't win it, based on what we have been told, a clubhouse talk or speech during a rain delay. Two-time Gold Glover. I found it amazing that he was not even an all-star one time with Chicago. I really did. Anthony Recker, Bill Ripken, Matt Yaloff. Your take on the fact that Heyward now with the Cubs is done?
It's interesting to me because you better have wide open dialogue. If you're making this decision now, you know, with a couple months of the season to go, I actually initially thought that maybe Heyward went to them and said, okay, look, I'm not playing that much. Let's part our ways and do everything else. Because I'm sitting there thinking, if you know this end is coming, when your number does get called, how are you going to go out there and play this year? Because there's going to be an opportunity to do that. So I just don't quite understand the timing of this, because I'm sitting there thinking, if this actually happened, I'm thinking Heyward might have went up to him and said, why don't we think about doing this? And then I was thinking there's a place for him in the organization moving forward. But it didn't seem like that when Jed was talking. You know, we had conversations with him. He doesn't like it. I just don't see the necessity to do it now. Play out the year. If you want to make a move at the end of the year, you'd call him up and you make a move. It just seems very, very peculiar to me.
What do you think?
I think the timing for me, at least I have a personal experience in the Cubs organization and with Jed Hoyer, where it was, I don't want to say similar. I wasn't making anywhere near the amount of money, and it wasn't quite the same timing. But the last day of the season, I got called into the office because we were doing our post, season, end of season meetings kind of thing. And Jed kind of jumped in and said, just so you know, by the way, we're going to designate you after the season is over. And I was in the lineup that day. Right. And I was really confused. And it was very hard for me to go out there and play. To your point, that is a very tough thing mentally to think, oh, I'm not going to be a part of this team anymore, but I'm supposed to go out and compete with that Cubs uniform on. Now, of course, I still had an opportunity to compete for the other 29 teams. It's probably a little bit different for Jay Hay. I don't know if his career's over or not. That's up to him. But he's definitely in a different point in his career, that's for sure. So the timing is odd. The fact that they're delivering this news right now is odd. But I think what we see is an organization, despite the fact that they didn't go all in at the trade deadline and sell everyone, they're clearly not thinking about winning the rest of this year or maybe winning next year. I don't know. That's not to say that, look, Jay Hay has probably underperformed even to his own expectations with that Cub uniform on. So it's not to say that necessarily letting him go means they're going to be worse, but I still don't understand the timing, to Bill's point.
Well, I'll finish up by saying this. It's not his fault he got that contract. No. Everybody would take that contract. Sure. But I think it kind of hung around him. And I think for a long time it was, we paid how much for this? And that's unfair to the player. That's my view as a fan.